Good evening to everyone present here. I, Avneet Kaur, member of Sambhav Initiative and moderator for today's session. On behalf of Sambhav Initiative, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to the 10 days online National Capacity Building Program on Law and Policy. Today marks the beginning of our program, and we are excited to commence with the session. We are privileged and honored to have esteemed guests joining us for this session. Thank you all for being here, and we look forward to an enriching experience together. Today, our inauguration ceremony will be graced by Honorable Justice C.K. Thakkar sir, former Judge of the Supreme Court of India and Patron-in-Chief of Sambhav Initiative, Dr. P.D. Waghela sir, IAS retired, former Chairman Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, Dr. Shrikant Baldi sir, IAS retired, ex-Chief Secretary, Government of Himachal Pradesh and former Chairman RERA. Himachal Pradesh, and Dr. Jigar Inamdar Sir, former Regional Director of ICCI Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. I request all the attendees to keep their microphones muted during the session. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Hiranshi Shah, founder of Sambhav Initiative. Before inviting ma'am, I would like to give a brief introduction about ma'am. Ms. Hiranshi Shah is a remarkable individual with a distinguished career in alternative dispute resolution. Ma'am is a member of prestigious organizations like the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators in the United Kingdom and the World Mediation Organization in Germany. Ma'am is also a member of esteemed institutions like Singapore International Arbitration Center, London Court of International Arbitration, and International Council for Commercial Arbitration. In addition to her professional achievements, Ma'am is also known for her expertise as judge in various international and national area competitions. Ma'am has even been honored as the chief guest for Asia's Top 100 Influential Women Award, recognizing her outstanding contributions. Furthermore, Ma'am is appointed as the conciliator of the National Lok Adalat for pre-litigation and pending cases. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Hiranshi Shah, ma'am, for the welcome speech. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Avneet, for the kind introduction. And first of all, on behalf of the Sambhav Initiative, it firstly is my privilege to welcome my own head, or I can say veteran in chief of Sambhav Initiative, Justice C.K. Thakkar sir, under whose vision we are able to organize our various capacity building program. Not only this program, but also our all our vision, sir, is always ready to help us and always guide us for the same. Sir, welcome you for this capacity building
Thank
program.
you.
Yes, I also welcome Shrikant Badli, sir, IS officer retired, the ex-chief secretary, Government of India, Government of Himachal Pradesh. Once again, thank you, sir. You all second time come as on our capacity building program. It's our privilege to host you today as a is for the session. Thank you, sir, and welcome, sir. It's also my privilege to welcome Dr. P.D. Waghela, sir, IAS retired officer, former chairperson of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRI. Welcome, sir, on behalf of the institution. It's our deepest privilege and gratitude to be here in this occasion. And also, I extend my welcome to Jigar Inamdar, sir, who are going to be also part of this ceremony. So basically, we had all dignitaries, we had plan, and on a regular monthly basis, we are organized various type of online capacity building program, wherein we try to provide a training to advocates, to law students, to the government officials also on the various subject. And earlier, with this regard, we had also organized one 15 days online capacity building program on legislative analysis and legislative drafting, but that is only for the government officials. And now we organize similar line of thing with regards to law and public policy, wherein we are try to encourage the students to make public policy also as a career, and also the dignitaries who are present here, the all dignitaries you can see on the platform, they are some part of the this system. So it's a privilege for all the students and the audience who are watching us during this inauguration ceremony, sir. So we are really privileged to have all of you for this inauguration ceremony of 10 days online national capacity building program on law and public policy, wherein from today onwards we had planned various sessions which ranging from policy design, analysis and its impact evolution, then career in public policy, role of bar and bench in shaping public policy, then also session relating to the youth and public policy, then constitutional rights and social justice advocacy, then session on how politics shapes the India's policy landscape, and role of academic research in policy making and research methodology, involving the also one area of the law, that is environmental law and the climate policy in India, wherein we just try to combine the subject and interline of law and public policy. So this is all the aim of our this capacity building program on law and public policy. So once again, I welcome all dignitaries and thank you to be part of this occasion. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Uh, Now it is my privilege to introduce our own patron in chief, Justice C.K. Thakkar, sir, former Judge of Supreme Court of India. Justice C.K. Thakkar, sir, is a retired Judge of Supreme Court of India. Sir was born on November 10, 1943, in Mandir, near Porbandar, Gujarat, India. After taking primary education at Mandir and Madhavpur, Thakkar sir graduated from a college in Junagadh and obtained a Bachelor of Laws from a law college in Jamnagar. Sir also obtained a Master of Laws from Gujarat University and began practicing from 1968 in High Court of Gujarat. Sir was appointed part-time lecturer in law in L.A. Shah Law College, Ahmedabad in 1970 and continued as such until Sir was elevated to Judge of the High Court of Gujarat on 21st June 1990. Sir was further promoted to Chief Justice of the High Court of Himachal Pradesh, Shimla on 5th May 2000 and transferred as the Chief Justice of High Court of Judicature at Mumbai on 31st December 2001. Sir was appointed a Judge of Supreme Court of India on 7th June 2004. Sir was also acting Governor of the state of Maharashtra from July to October 2002. Sir has written several law books such as Lectures on Administrative Law, Code of Civil Procedure, which remains a standard textbooks for law students in India for more than 25 years. We are deeply honored to have you with us today, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Brother judges, Dr. Baldi, Dr. Waghela, and my all friends and students. I am extremely happy to be with you today. In fact, I have always believed since the beginning when I have been associated with this institute, uh, it was stated that Justice Balakrishnan, who was my senior colleague in Gujarat High Court, who was my Chief Justice in Gujarat High Court, who was my senior colleague in Supreme Court, and who was my colleague and Chief Justice of India when I was in the Supreme Court. So when he said I cannot say no, and I am really happy. In almost all cases, in almost all meetings, I have been invited and I have not said no. So I am very happy. Again, I congratulate the Institute for say choosing an important subject. See, earlier it was stated in laissez-faire policy or 19th century, if we go, I was a student of economics and politics, so I was aware that that government is best which governs the least. But those days have gone. And as Wade says, today the position is that state takes care of yourself and your family from cradle to the graveyard. So in almost all activities, state is there. State activities are there. It may be that sometimes even your personal voice also may not be that much be say effective. The reason is that everybody has to look at not only personal interest but interest of general society. Similarly, as far as commercial relations are concerned, particularly after about within 20-25 years, we have seen that now there is no world market. World market has become national market or even say village market, because now everything is available there, everything is available here. You cannot afford to say that no, I will do my business, or I will do only in my country, or I will do only in my village or my city. If it is so, you will have to acquire knowledge, because it is said that knowledge is power, and without power you cannot do anything. Now, in such circumstances, you will have to acquire knowledge from experts, and all are not experts. I may tell you, even after I became a judge, I became a judge in 1990. In 1992 or 93, I have forgotten, but in 1 or 2 years, Dr. Vyas, who is now in Gandhinagar University, so he had come and he had addressed brother judges. So he said something about DNA test. Frankly speaking, we were, some of us, maybe that some persons, maybe some judges may be knowing also. I am not saying that nobody was knowing, but some of us were not knowing at all about it. And now look at the position with regard to forensic science. I had gone twice or thrice, and it is really tremendous. Now, if it is so, similarly with regard to RERA and all other, say, laws also, when one matter came to me about this construction and then what is it, carpet area and general area, and I told the advocate that please explain me what is it. And he said that, sir, this is this property X yard, then if it is say a particular the carpet area, then it will be this, then it will be that. Now, in view of development in the entire country, development in the entire world, you will have to acquire knowledge. Fortunately, a, a very good this program has been arranged, and it is also for 10 days. And I have gone through the what was stated in this so what was material which was sent to me, that all persons who are experts and students also who are interested, they are coming. I have no doubt that they will give their contribution, and it will go a long way. My best wishes to all, and my congratulations and best wishes to brother judges and experts also. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Shrikant Baldi, sir. But I would like to introduce sir first. It is my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. Shrikant Baldi, sir, a distinguished public servant, scholar, and administrator with an illustrious career spanning over 3 decades. Sir holds an impressive academic background. Sir is a BCom honors graduate with specialization in accountancy, MA in Public Administration, and MBA in Public Services from the University of Birmingham, UK, and a PhD in Public Administration. Guided by the principle of work is worship, Sir began his career with the Rajasthan Administrative Services in 1983. Sir briefly served in the Indian Police Service the same year before being selected into the Indian Administrative Services in 1985, where Sir was allotted the Himachal Pradesh cadre. Throughout his career, Sir held several key administrative and leadership roles, including Deputy Commissioner of Solan for 4 years and Kangra for 2 years, Managing Director of Himachal Road Transport Corporation Secretary, Power Principal Secretary, Education for 3 years, Additional Chief Secretary for Finance Planning, Excise and Taxation for over 8 years, Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister, and culminating his career as the Chief Secretary to the Government of Himachal Pradesh, retiring in December 2019. Post retirement, Sir continued his commitment to public service. Sir was appointed as the Chairman of Real Estate Regulatory Authority, RERA, Himachal Pradesh, and also served as the Chairman of AIFO RERA in 2024. Sir retired from RERA in December 2024. Sir is widely respected for his integrity, administrative acumen, and visionary leadership in governance and public policy. We are deeply honored to have you with us today, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Avneet. Honorable Justice Thakkar Saab, Honorable Waghela Saab. I'm really thankful to the Sambhav initiative for this capacity building, and today's topic on public law and public policy is so important. And when I was listening to Thakkar Saab, I was reminded of my time when I was doing my MBA in public services in UK. Sir, actually, that time the public policy was a central issue, and whether the market should be the motto or the state should be the motto. That was the central question. The people used to advocate that market should decide everything, and we had the other block which was telling that the state should do everything. And finally, what was found and observed over the years is it is not important whether it is the state or it is the market, whether competition can flourish, and the only way is to have the regulatory bodies like Waghela sir was in TRI or SEBI or good like Electricity Regulatory Commission, which can ensure that market function properly. Public bodies or private bodies could do competition and bring efficiency to the service to the public. So the theme has changed from time to time, and the laws and public policy has played a very, very important role. And that, I really admire the Sambhav for taking this important initiative, because the interplay between the laws and public policy is central to good governance. If we have good laws and good public policy, obviously we will have a good governance. So today's topic and this 10 days initiative is going to be key for everything. And my feeling and observation is that the laws are good laws will have good public policies. Like I've seen, I was Secretary Education. Right to education led to very good initiatives like Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan and others to implement them. We had the Manrega Act, which followed to good policies. And similarly, if we have good policies like we had digital policies, IT policies, which led to changes in IT Act and other Amendment Act. So both are interlinked, whether it is laws and public policy. The whole purpose is how do we have good laws or good public policies which drive socio-economic development of the country or welfare of the people, good quality of life for the people. When I was chairman Himachal RERA, sir, I got an opportunity to visit Philippines for regulations and how do we have good regulatory practices. And there I had interaction with a body called Anti-Red Tape Authority of Philippines. And I was very impressed with that body, because that was a body which was an oversight body for making any laws, policy, regulations in the country. The whole purpose was that there were certain the processes or tools which every other authority in secretariat or government had to follow to ensure that we have good public policies or good laws which can deliver. And what I really realized was, sir, that there has to be a holistic approach or whole government approach for a good public policy. One cannot work in silos. We have seen that many times ministries take individual decision which may be counterproductive for other ministries. So that oversight body used to see whether it's a whole of the government approach or not. Second most important was the stakeholder participation. They will ensure that whether there is an effective stakeholder participation while drafting any regulation or public policy, and that has to be effective. It cannot be just cursory. It cannot be just on the namesake that we have a participation, because if we have the stakeholder participation at the initial drafting stage, that improves the quality of public policy to a large extent. The third important component which I really liked was that they have a policy impact in analysis for every regulation and policies. They say regulatory impact assessment, where they go into deep about the cost benefit analysis, what are the alternates, what are the going to be compliance cost of any laws, because many time in our overzealous we draft laws where we put a lot of compliances on a private body or other bodies, and that over that may outweigh the benefit we will get it. So that analysis is very important, that how what is going to be the cost benefit analysis. And based on regulatory impact assessment, finally a good public policy is drafted, and it is then implemented in phases or a selective basis in certain areas, so one can experiment that it is a good public policy. And then the very critical aspect is a regular evaluation of various policies from time to time to see whether they have been able to achieve their goal or not. So these are various practices, not only, then I realized these are the practices in Malaysia, these are the practices in Indonesia, and obviously in Europe and others. And if we see the Indian context, sir, the Indian context, we have both type of things. I was Secretary Finance for a long time, 8 years, and I had an opportunity to be part of the GST Council from beginning. And when the GST constitutional amendment and laws was being drafted, I was part of this. Honorable Jaitley Sahab was finance minister, and that time I saw that how a good law can come up. We had very good interaction in the GST Council. Lot of issues came up and deliberated, because that time there was a lot of apprehension from the states whether GST will work or not. The major the bottleneck was whether the revenue will be safeguarded or not. They had many issues like CST. The manufacturing state wanted that we should strongly have 1 to 4% of for the originating states, and a state like Punjab wanted the purchase tax. So there were very teething issues, and unless we had a body like GST Council where all the stakeholders were represented and we had frank opinion, I think a very reformative laws like GST law would not have come. And based on discussion, the 5-year compensation law came, where the union government assured that there would be 14% CAGR increase in the revenue, and that settled all the issues. And finally, we had the constitutional amendment for the GST reform. So that shows that if we have the stakeholder consultation, there is a deliberation on the law, a law could be very, very change making. And GST is a prime example of this. So that is an area where we really work to work. I was also, sir, agriculture secretary in the state for some time, and that time I saw these 3 farm laws were enacted in the country. When I went through these, they were excellent piece of legislation. The intention and purpose was excellent. They would have really increased the marketing network, would have led to the production and productivity increase, and also brought a lot of investment in agriculture. But there, what I felt was what was missing was the stakeholder consultation and the whole process which requires participatory lawmaking. I wish if it was there like GST, then things would have been different. We would have these laws with certain amendments, and these laws would have benefited our country. So I feel these are the 2 very good examples. One is the GST reform, and second is the farm laws, which shows that when we make a public policy or law, how careful we should be having. Similarly, sir, I had very good experience of public policies in Himachal Pradesh because I served for a long time. I would like to give a few examples of this. When I was Principal Secretary Education in Himachal Pradesh, we had a lot of private universities coming up and B.Ed institutions coming up. What we realized was that quality of their being there was not there. We deliberated, we had a lot of stakeholder consultation, and we finally came up with a legislation called the Educational Institute Regulatory Commission. And it was a unique act, sir, in 2010, because it was not regulating per se the management of these institutions. It was only an interface between the regulatory bodies of the national level, like NCT, AICT, or UGC, to ensure that whatever standards have already been spelled out are implemented in the ground. Because what we felt was there was a gap. We have a lot of regulations fixed by NCT or AICT, but when it came to implementation, there was no body to oversee that implementation. So whether it was admission process through competitive exam, whether it is quality of teachers, they are qualified teachers, whether it was an examination, so that regulatory commission has done a wonderful job in ensuring that standards are met and implemented in the field. Similarly, I will give another good example that many a time we don't have a sunset clause in our lodge. All of us know, sir, that we have Essential Commodities Act 1955, and there are various control orders which have been issued under these acts. And once when we were making our budget, we have consultation with trade unions, industry unions, agriculture, farmers. So we had discussion and interaction, and we found from the trade unions that we have a lot of control order on stocks, on margins, on other things. And one of the person spoke, sir, that in Himachal you need to have more stocks because nothing is produced here. Everything comes from Punjab and Haryana. Why do you have a stock restriction? And why do you have other restrictions based on control orders? Actually, then we had a lot of discussions on this, and we found that most of the control orders under the Essential Commodities Act, like fixing pricing for lunch or lunch or even bread, were all old and very archaic and were continuing because there was no sunset clause. And then we had a consultation with the chief minister and others, and Himachal was one of the first state which decided that all the control orders under the Essential Commodities Act will be kept in abeyance except emergency because they have outlived their utility. So this was a path-breaking thing because obviously it was a central act. We could not have made any amendment, but that shows that many a time we have public policies and laws which are old enough and which may have outlived their utility, but continue with this. Similarly, sir, when we had a lot of interaction with the industries and others, and we were not getting small and medium industries because of a lot of compliances issues, we came up with a new act called Medium and Small Enterprises Act in 2019, where we said that you need not go to any approval. Your self-certification is enough. If you certify that you comply with the laws, then you can start your unit. So it was like we had an umbrella act not to go for any issues. And it also came with a lot of public consultation and other issues. So the point I'm raising is, sir, that if you have the stakeholder consultation, if you have a wide discussion, then the intention and purpose of public policy could be met. Another example I would like to give you, sir, from Himachal Pradesh, that Himachal is a hydropower state. And we had a lot of potential vis-a-vis other state, but we were not able to harness because public sector was not able to employ capital, and it was very difficult to get the private sector and how to engage them. So that time I was finance secretary. We had interaction with the power secretary and came up with a very transparent and competitive system of bidding the hydropower way back in 2006. And we decided that natural resources should go through the competitive bidding. And we started with upfront premium as a basis of allotment of the unit. And that led to a lot of private hydro projects coming. And today, Himachal has harnessed more than 18,000 megawatt of hydropower, much higher than any other state, because of very transparent and a very good manner of implementing this. But, so we have many examples, sir, but I would like to also give an example from RERA. Like when I was chairman RERA, we had interaction on the implementation of IBC, and a lot of consultation was taken place, and IBC was not in a position to give benefit in case of real estate projects, because IBC is based on a company, whereas real estate projects are project based. A company may have 10 projects and 9 or 8 may be doing well and one project is not doing well. So we as a RERA authority, like I4RERA was or All India Forum, we gave the recommendations that please divide them. In case of real estate, you have to have a project basis approach, not the company basis approach. So sometimes the interplay between two acts has to be looked into, that how one shapes the another, and that helps into a better implementation of others. So the point I wish to make it, sir, that what we really need in our country is that we should follow the good regulatory and policy practices which are already applicable in most of the Asian countries, European countries, and they are well documented. Main of them is that we have to have a whole government approach. We should have a oversight body which looks into this, that all these processes are being implemented. We have a participatory and consultative approach, and we also should have impact assessment, and all this is possible if we have an oversight body, along with ensuring that whenever any new policy or new law is being driven, these are being followed. And I've seen, sir, how the 17th Lok Sabha and Parliament and 16. If we see, even in most of the laws, only 20-25% laws which goes to the select committee. Now, select committee plays a very important role in getting the feedback from all the section of the laws. And so, like the participatory role, the select committee role is very, very important. If this body or this Sambhav initiative could recommend to the parliamentary committee that maximum number of laws should go to the select committee for participation, we should have a oversight body. Even Niti Aayog could be one of the body for this purpose. And these various tenets of principles or processes are followed, then we will have a very robust system of making the laws, drafting the laws or public policies, and that can really make a difference in how they are implemented and how the public welfare takes place. So I again thank Sambhav for giving this opportunity. I had earlier talked about the working of RERAs all over the country. And this topic, which is very, very important for public policy framework, is very, very significant. So thank you very much for inviting me. And thank you, Thakkar Saab. Thank you, Vaghela Saab. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. P.D. Vaghela, sir, and I would like to give a brief introduction about sir. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. P.D. Vaghela, sir, a senior civil servant and policy reformer, currently serving as the chairman of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India since October 1st, 2020. Sir is a 1986 batch IAS officer, Gujarat cadre, with over 3 decades of distinguished service in governance and public policy. Sir holds degree in commerce, MBA in financial management, MA in developmental studies from Netherlands, and earned his PhD in public management and policy from Sardar Patel University. Throughout his career, Sir has held key positions at district, state, and central levels. As chairman of Kandla Port Trust 2008 to 2013, the port was awarded as the best performing port for 5 consecutive years. As Chief Commissioner of Sales Tax Gujarat, Sir played a pivotal role in the formulation and implementation of GST at national level, serving as the convener of GST law and fitment committees. Later, as Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Sir led transformative initiatives in the pharma sector and played a crucial role during the COVID-19 pandemic as governor of Empowered Group 3, ensuring availability of essential medical supplies like PPEs, ventilators, and testing kits, helping India shift from importer to exporter in these areas. In recognition of his exceptional service, Sir was honored by the Honorable Prime Minister of India in 2018 for excellence in public administration. We are deeply honored to have you with us today, sir. Over to you, sir.
Sir, you are on mute. Vaghela,
You
you are on mute.
but now we can hear.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, Sambhav Initiative, for inviting me. This is my first appearance to this forum, and it will be many more, I'm sure. Thank you, Thakkar sir. You are a legend. And Baldi sir, yeah, that is what now I remember. We used to meet in the GST Council, and all other, the participants and guests. Yeah, Baldi sir has covered, many of the issues in a very, very, excellent manner. I also happen to, as it has been stated, that I did my MA in public policy, and then I did my PhD in public policy. The one thing which I have realized, that India doesn't have dearth of policies. Yeah, we have many policies. And what I realized that, and what we lacked today, now situation is improving, and that is more because of the use of technologies and use of online applications. But still, I think what I consider that the biggest problem which we today face is the problem of implementation. See, policies are, broad framework of the, mission and the goals and the future growth which a country wants to, reach to. But I think, that can be facilitated only by, strategic decision making, which I will tell. So decision making is simple. Everyone makes decisions. But when it's come to public policy, I think strategic decision making by the leaders, whether they are head of the organization, whether the head of the department, or in whatever capacity they are there. I think that becomes very, very important, and that is very, very crucial. Because I did my PhD in implementation, and I will tell you one funny story. But one story I can always relate. See, there was at that time this Manrega. It was known as employment for the rural people, right? And so I took up Dangs, 100% tribal districts, as a focus of my research. And what we realized, that how the policy goals gets completely changed. So in this case, the idea was to give the employment to the rural poor. But actually, what was happening? The panchayat president, Taluka panchayat president, the sarpanch, all these people got together, right? And then they started using JCBs. For example, a lake or pond is to be dug, so they will use the JCB, and then then they will prepare the bogus labor register. So here the policies are actually changed on the ground level. So this is called actor-oriented approach. And that approach says that you make whatever policy you want to make, unless you have robust mechanism of implementation in form of strategic decision making, and the actual implementation at the ground will be completely different. And this is and that is why I decided to go for the research in the implementation aspect. So my basic research is with regard to the implementation of tribal sub plan and how it has impacted. And you will be surprised to know that I came to a conclusion that if we do not implement any project, and we do not take up any schemes, and if this money is distributed among the tribals, and they will immediately come out of the poverty line. So this is what I wanted to say. When it comes to see, Baldi Sahab has already told about GST, and I had the privilege to be the GST convener for from the beginning of 2015 till I joined as secretary pharmaceuticals. And I was also convener of the GST fitment committee and member of the national GST implementation committee. And Baldi sir has told very, very very, very important thing, that when participation of the people is there, when the process are transparent, and when you talk to the stakeholders, the policy or the law which you make is always good. It will have difficulties, it will have weaknesses, but such policies and such laws will be accepted. See, the biggest problem of GST in India, what was it? See, in India, the GST had one. See, I studied the GST laws of all the world, all the various countries. There, they have the unitary state. So they have, single state. They don't require to distribute the, GST among the states. Yeah, Australia have provinces, but Australia, the GST is collected by the central government. It is distributed among the states. So that is the the strategy. Then that is the the policy which they decided while framing the GST laws. But in India, it is a federal government, where the functions have been distributed among the state and center. So there are certain taxes which were with the state, VAT. There are certain taxes which were with the central government. So there was no other way except that, going for a mechanism whereby the taxes can be collected by a single authority. However, both the state and center are involved. That is one thing. Second, much more important was how the goods, when they move from one state to another, how do you account for that? So there are many, opinions came up. Someone said that there should be, clearing house on the line of, bank transactions. At that time, checks were used to be cleared, next day in the morning. So those kind of systems were thought of. But in the end, after a lot of deliberation, the IGST model came up. Of course, it is, still very complicated. But I think, in the circumstances, the kind of law which we have come out, is an excellent law. And see, what were the important points? The one thing, GST Council was collaborative. The laws which were there, it was a collaborative law. I think, my understanding is that when India, when the people get together on a, in the single platform, they take wise decision. So GST is, one of the decisions, and there naturally, for example, I was handling the stakeholder, their representation, and you will be surprised to that. We had to handle almost 55,000 representation only on laws. Now you can imagine the kind of representation which we received with regard to rates. That way, that way it lacks. All these, representation that were catalogued, by us, and then it was taken to the council, and then council, took decision. One good thing I should tell about Mr. Jetli, he was very, very, very democratic. He will listen to everyone. At that time, there were very strong, state finance ministers. It was almost impossible, to say no to them. They were very strong and very, very educated. Some of them economists, big economists. But Mr. Jetli listened to everyone. He accommodated everyone. And at the end of the day, he could, we could have the GST law. And see, another important thing, that the after 7 years, 8 years implementation of the GST law, we have been able to now again go for the GST 2.0, which is in the right direction. In the end, I think there should be a single GST rate that will solve the problem of refund and the inverted duty structure, because that is the way to go forward. This is one thing. Secondly, I dealt with the Epidemic Diseases Act during COVID. So I was Secretary Pharmaceuticals, and there were 13 empowered committees were formed. So one of the empowered committee, most crucial and most critical committee, was empowered committee, number 3. Then now it is known as empowered committee 2. But anyway, so that committee, there was see what are the policies. So in this act, there was a single line policy which was given to me. I have to make critical drugs and other 4 items, that is N95, testing kits, ventilators, and the PPE suits, that should make available to the people of India in 3 months. Now in this, this is the single line then. And second line was that the committee can take whatever decisions, and this decision will be implemented by all the department without raising an issue. So this is the policy which was given to us. And how was this policy possible? This policy was possible under this act only, right? So this committee was formed, and let me tell you that what we followed. We followed the model of management by teams, and that team also very fluid teams. That means I was convener. There were 6, 7 secretaries were there. There was secretary from the Prime Minister office, additional secretary, he was member. There was additional secretary from the cabinet secretary who was also member. So, and then DRDO chairman was also there. So we had to prepare the standard for N95. We had to prepare the standard for ventilator because there was no standard. BS had not prepared any standard for this. So then, the ventilators, then we had to prepare the standard for testing kits because we didn't manufacture anything. All these things used to come, used to be imported. The requirement was not very much. So, then doing the research, giving the permission for the, then setting up the laboratory. There was only one laboratory in Coimbatore. Then we set up 10 laboratories. Then there were no trains, there were no trucks, there were no buses. Though we used, Air India's, the airplanes to, take these samples from, Punjab for Hojiri. Punjab, we took the PP samples. Take it to the Bangalore. From Bangalore, there will be one vehicle. That vehicle will take it to Coimbatore, get it tested. Next day it will come. And then if the tests are approved, approved by the laboratory, and then production will start and orders will be placed. So, what I understand that if enough transparent ways of managing things are there, consultation is there, I think we can do wonders. So this is one thing. Another thing which I wanted to tell about TRI. TRI, see, one thing I will tell you, TRI, why it is very transparent and why it is very, why it consults all the stakeholders. Because Supreme Court, in one judgment, ordered TRI that they have to change their ways of consulting people. They told that anybody, even a strict person, can give the comments, and it will be the responsibility of TRI to consider their comment, either reject or accept, but give reasons, and then come out with regulation or come out with recommendation. That is why TRI, for every regulation, for every recommendation, there is a huge consultation process, and the consultation process is so strong that every comment which comes is put on the website. Right, that is one thing. Secondly, counter comment is also put on the website. Third, which is very important, when TRI comes out with recommendation, before sending it to the government, it is put on the website. Fourth, if government does not accept, government has to give reasons. That is what the law says. So whatever government gives the objection, that is also put on website. And when TRI gives the response to that objections, that is also put on website. So no, this is the kind of consultation process where the comments are considered, a particular regulation is made, a particular recommendation is made, and if government does not want to accept that recommendation, government has to give reasons, and if TRI agrees with that, again TRI has to give reasons why it changes views. So then I think this is I agree with Baldi sir that regulation is very, very important. I think regulatory bodies, I think, further needs to be strengthened in India. Many of the regulators, they still don't have all the functions. TRI, for example, let us see, TRI does not handle all the functions, compared to, other authorities. But only because TRI has this power of recommendation, and recommendation cannot be rejected by the government, without giving reasons. And that reasons will be made in public, put in public. Government is very, very cautious in in rejecting any of the recommendations. So, for example, 5G, it was one of the most difficult recommendation which TRI was required to make. And we did an extensive consultation. We consulted all the experts of the world, and then in the end, the recommendation which we made, there were certain recommendations which were not comfortable for the government, but in the end, all the recommendations were accepted. So my understanding is that consultation is very important. Listening to the people is very important. Implementation is very important. And implementation, that in strategic decision making by the leaders, heads of the organization, of the secretaries of the department, or whoever there, they should be leading from the front. That is very, very important. And last, which not least, I will say, and that is what we, again, we is very lacking. And that, that is inclusion. Our policies are not inclusive enough, whether we like it or not. And let us take, mobile, the digital connectivity. Yeah, mobile has reached to everyone, and that is because of the, the revolution in form of 4G, and Reliance entering into the fray, and making the, the call, almost free. Today, it is free. So people are empowered. But I still consider that in the coming days, when the economy gets digitalized, those who are from the middle class, those who are illiterate, those who are, especially women and the other sections of society who are poor traditionally, I think they will further get excluded because the economic opportunity will be more on online, and it will be more on the online. It will be more on the applications. And if people doesn't have this understanding, so our literacy program, for example, digital literacy program, does not handle this. No, they give the basic literacy of how to handle the mobile, how to protect yourself from the fraud, and those kind of things. But it is not equipping the citizens of India, especially the women and the women and the poor and middle class people, how to exploit the opportunity, economic opportunity from the digital platform, how to reach there, how to increase how to get employed, how to sell your products in much better manner, how to purchase your inputs in a lower rate. So I think that this is very, very important. All the policies should, my understanding, every policy should have a chapter inclusive aspect of the policy. That I think will be a great thing. Thank you very much. You have invited me, and I'm sure, because a 10 days program, many issues will be handled. I had prepared a theoretical framework. One thing which again we need is that, unfortunately, in policy making and in implementation, our bureaucrats are not taught theories. Unless theories are taught, they will not. For example, leadership styles. For example, what kind of decision makings are there? And for example, normal decision making, then risky decision making, uncertain decision making. How disruptive technology is making it very difficult for making policies and making regulations. There is a talk that the regulators may become immaterial because of the technological disruptions. So these are the things we need to discuss, and I'm sure in the next 10 days, you will be deliberating on this. And I should tell what you are doing is great thing, because not many people talk about public policy and law, and telling to the participant, teaching them, and that is a great thing. Thank you very much for inviting me, and again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Uh, due to some health issues, Jigar sir won't be able to join today's inaugural session. So we'll conclude this with a formal vote of thanks. On behalf of Sambhav Initiative, I extend our sincere gratitude to you dignitaries, our own Patron-in-Chief Justice C.K. Thakkar sir, Dr. Shrikant Baldi sir, and Dr. P.D. Vaghela sir for gracing today's inaugural session and sharing your valuable insights. Your words have truly marked an inspiring beginning for this 10 days online national capacity building program and law and public policy. And we are grateful for your time and guidance, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dignitaries.